Morning, church. So I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what I was saying to you guys yesterday. Another thought that came to my mind when I was reading the Bible this morning and kind of thinking about the day. This is our reset book that we are going to be studying for Advent. Today, read the introduction. And then tomorrow on December 1st, you'll read the first entry in the book. So today, read the introduction. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about that verse from Luke that came to me yesterday. Luke chapter 1, verse 78. It says, because of God's tender mercy, the morning light from heaven is about to break upon us. The morning light from heaven. What do we think that is? I wonder. But let's go back to the beginning of Luke chapter 1. Something I noticed. Of course, I've read Luke chapter 1 many, many times, but I noticed this. So Zechariah is in the temple doing his priestly duty of burning incense. While he's in there, it says a great crowd stood outside praying. That's verse 10. While the incense was being burned, a great crowd stood outside praying. A great crowd was praying. When people pray, things happen. When people get together to pray, things happen. And in this case, it was a movement of the Holy Spirit. It was a message to Zechariah from the angel Gabriel. So what did Gabriel say? He said, your wife who is old in age and has not been able to have children is going to have a baby. So that's like, wow. But it specifically says in verse 15, it says that the baby will be filled with the Holy Spirit. The baby will be filled with the Holy Spirit. And then later in verse 41, at the sound of Mary's greeting, so Mary is now pregnant with Jesus and she goes to visit her cousin Elizabeth, Zechariah's wife. It says, at the sound of Mary's greeting, Elizabeth's child leaped within her. Leaped within her. There it is. That's the filled with the Holy Spirit that the angel Gabriel had told Zechariah about. Leaped within her. And then Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. So not only is Zechariah got a word from Gabriel, but John has now been filled with the Holy Spirit inside of his mother's womb, and his mother is filled with the Holy Spirit. And then later, after the baby is born, Elizabeth says his name is John. And everybody argues with her. They're like, no, because there's no John in your family. We need to name him Zechariah. And she's like, no, his name is John. And then they say, let's go ask the dad. So they go over and they talk to Zechariah. And Zechariah says, no, his name is John. Zechariah confirms the work of the Holy Spirit that's happening within Elizabeth. He recognized the Holy Spirit's work, and then he could speak again. The Holy Spirit gives language, because remember, Zechariah had been mute since he got the message from the angel Gabriel. He wasn't able to speak. But as soon as he confirms the work of the Holy Spirit in Elizabeth, he is able to speak again. The Holy Spirit gives us language. If you're looking for the words to say, to talk to somebody about God's love, to talk to somebody in your family about Jesus, pray that the Holy Spirit will give you the language, because he does. He does it in Acts chapter 1. He gives language to share the gospel. And he does it right here as well. He gave Zechariah the language. And you know what Zechariah did? He prophesied. So the verse that we read before yesterday, verse 78, Zechariah prophesied, because of God's tender mercy, the morning light from heaven is about to break upon us. Jesus is the morning light. It's about to break upon us. Jesus is coming. Advent is about remembering Jesus is coming again. That is so exciting. So pray today. Pray that the Holy Spirit will give you language to share with other people that Jesus is coming again. It's not an if, it's not a suggestion, it is real. And now is the time to prepare our hearts for it. So get into your reset book, read the introduction, and I'll think about coming back and doing these occasionally again as the Holy Spirit gives me the language to do so. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.